Hey guys, Natalia Schneimler here. I help boy moms have a better relationship with their sons and themselves by teaching them the tools how to manage their mind so that when anything comes up in life, they know exactly how to take care of themselves and their kids.
Hey guys, how's it going? I am doing so well. I am lately have been loving playing tennis doubles. They are the best. It's so interesting. It's very social. We stop and chat, but it's also the game is really engaging and really dynamic. There's so many different options, so many different ways to learn to get better. There's so many strategies that I don't even know existed. And if you haven't tried it, try it. I also hear pickleball is amazing and paddle. I haven't tried paddle or pickleball, but it's got to be so fun because tennis doubles is so fun. I'm organizing my own doubles every week, and we got all four girls together, and it's really a great way for. This is just how I imagine the rest of my life. We're going to be doing some sort of sport with some sort of social aspect to it, movement. And it's just really fun to play games. I'm finally starting to enjoy some games in my life and I'm loving it. So get some games in your life. Speaking of the games, I want to talk to you about the topic of fun. And it came up in a couple of different different stories in my life. I'm going to tell you first about them. And then I'm going to tell you how you can bring more fun into your life, but in a different way that you would expect. Okay, so listen. So first, I was trying to figure out how to like tennis. It's been a struggle over the last 5-6 years, and I was just dreading it. Didn't want to go to lessons, but I wanted the exercise and I did enjoy it. And it's been a struggle for me to find joy in playing tennis. So I tried a few different things. I tried scheduling my lessons earlier in the morning instead of after lunch, which worked great. And the other thing is my husband pointed out, and he said, you like tennis, for you, it's more social, which I didn't realize that. But he's totally right. I love seeing more people. I like being more as a team. And I like taking the pressure off of it just being like a serious one-on-one sport and just having more fun. So I tried those things, and so far I'm loving it. I like it. And the other part of making it more fun for myself was coming to terms with the fact that I don't have to play tennis. I, for some reason, got into my head that I have to. Once I started, I just keep playing and not stop, and somehow I'm married to tennis. So basically, taking the obligation off. We always suffocate ourselves when we make ourselves feel like we have to do something. And so just don't do that with things that are fun. Don't overdo it. So that started my journey with looking for fun into something there, because I realized it wasn't the tennis, it was more my mindset, right? Through trial and error. The other one where I was talking to my friend Andrea, and she was kind of looking for things that she's excited about, kind of thinking about dreams for herself, and looking for fun things for herself to do. And for her, she really enjoys learning a new skill, learning how things work, learning how the industries work, learning different procedures. And so the word fun for her is not the right word, but essentially that's what she's experiencing. She's enjoying herself. She's excited about it. She's interested, and she's like what I would call it's having fun. Except fun is not the right word for her. It might not be the right word for you either. So it might be a different word for you that you want to feel like, oh, this is what I want. Like for me, it was, I told myself, I want to practice the skill of having fun, like enjoying myself, feeling like that I'm not worried about anything. I'm not thinking about the past or the future. And so that was the right word for me. So for her, that's what it was. And she was telling me about that. Like she gets really excited when she's getting to learn something, and it's taking her some time. And the same, I would say, for my husband. He loves learning, reading books, and he reads a lot of books, cookbooks, technical books, textbooks. He loves learning all the time. Like if he has a morning, anytime, but in the weekend, if I take the kids away, that's what he does. He just sits and reads. So he loves that. So today I made a list, I brainstormed on all the different ways I have fun in my life. And what the list that came out, I think is going to be so helpful, because it was so helpful for me to realize that actually the way we have fun is not how we expect to have fun. So listen to this. So, for example, when I'm having fun, I'm experiencing these feelings, or I'm doing these things. So for example, giving. If I'm giving something to someone, that feels really good for me. And I feel pleasure, I feel enjoyment, I feel satisfaction. And for example, if I'm feeling good and I want to bake something for the kids, like an extra thing, I'm feeling the feeling of that giving, that abundance. That feels good. Now, would I describe that feeling as fun? Ooh, I'm having so much fun. No, right? But that is actually how I'm enjoying myself doing a specific thing in my day. And it doesn't have to be attached to any specific activity. For example, creating this podcast for you, I'm also giving. I'm feeling the action of giving, feeling the abundance of this action. And that is the same as me baking for the kids, or, you're doing something volunteering, or you're doing something extra for your husband, or you're cleaning up the living room so that you can enjoy it. You're also giving to yourself. So this is what blew my mind. What I find so fascinating is that how we think having fun is actually has many different flavors and names to the having fun. So maybe the having fun is just like an umbrella of it. And it's an American term, right? So if you're listening somewhere else, I grew up in Russia, we did not have this phrase, having fun. But coming to Canada, everyone says, oh, have fun. Oh, have a nice day. Have fun. And that one, I think, can be translated into more specific words, but it is a great term because it takes skill to have fun, especially if you're a mom and doing a gazillion jobs, especially if you're a mom of 4 boys. Because if you don't have the right mindset, you're not enjoying yourself, or you're not having fun. So this is what I want you to take away from this, is that it's not the activity that you're doing, it's what you're bringing to it, right? So you could be baking, but you're not feeling that giving feeling. You're not feeling that abundance. You're simply going through the actions and you are feeling dread and you're just bored or tired. That's totally fine. So I want you to just bring your attention to the feelings that you're having that are good feelings in your day. And I want you to kind of name them all differently. Well, name them all and lump them all together as the having fun feelings, or name it however you like, or happy feelings, or having a good day feelings, right? But I want to bring your attention to the fact that they're all different. They're all very different names of those feelings, but they all constitute the same ideas, that you're enjoying yourself. Okay. The next one I wrote down was planning. I like planning because I feel prepared. I feel ready. I feel taken care of, like I'm taking care of myself in the future. Or I simply feel like, oh, done. I feel good. I did that, right? That had to be done. I did it. Look how many different flavors to that there are. There's a satisfaction of getting it done. There's achievement, sense of achievement. There's feeling of taking care of yourself. There's so many different feelings that can be attached to planning. Okay, I want to also pause and say there is a prerequisite. My friend Shirley pointed it out. She said, if the prerequisite to having fun or enjoying yourself is rest, which I totally agree. If you're not rested physically or mentally, it's going to be very hard for us to enjoy any of this, right? Or especially have access to mental thoughts that create good feelings, right? So again, if you are not rested physically or mentally, give yourself a break. You don't have to enjoy any of these. Remember, we have to make peace with all of these things that they're not going to be fun, right? They're going to be tedious, monotonous, same task we always do, and that's okay. So if you can give yourself rest, please do, and mental rest as well. For example, stimulating yourself with any media, any TV, any person, any kind of input is draining mentally. So if you need a break from that, that's what I do. You just basically stop listening to anything, stop talking to anyone, and if you can, have that private alone time. So now going back to the list, if you are rested physically and mentally, then you can pay attention to some of these different flavors of fun. So planning can be enjoyable. Sometimes it's not enjoyable when you don't feel like doing it, but most of the time, for me, I like planning because I am planning for something fun, something good, something for the future that I want, something that I'm choosing. Organizing. Organizing is a different kind of flavor of fun because it gives the sort of satisfaction that you can feel when something is organized, right? So as you're organizing it, you create that feeling of satisfaction. So satisfaction, I think, is the best flavor of fun because it feels so good. It feels so satisfying. Actually, I never told you guys, but my son started saying these things maybe a year or two ago. He says, "Oh, Mama, this is so satisfying." He would just like have something in his hands, or he's like, "Oh, watch this on the YouTube. Mama, this is so satisfying." And I was totally surprised that it's even a word or a phrase. And how did he even know about it? But what a genius idea that he's actually paying attention, finding these things and magnifying them and feeling that sense of satisfaction through something, because it's a skill. If we don't on purpose create that satisfaction, if we don't feel it, a lot of the time, by default, we are unsatisfied, disappointed, feeling not good enough, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, feeling super shitty, shame, blah, blah, blah. So putting that on purpose into your mind, feeling that satisfaction from the smallest thing is a skill, I think, that needs to be practiced. And then it's going to grow into more satisfaction. And then you're just going to have a satisfying life. You're going to have fun in your day. You're not going to want to drink or watch TV or overshop because you're going to be having fun. You're going to feel satisfied with what you have. So that's why satisfaction, it needs to be created through different thoughts and activities, and it needs to be found. Okay. It is a skill. I cannot stress it enough because by default, we're not set up to look for that. Unless you're my son. But efficient. So this is what I was saying me in my life. I am mostly a stay-at-home mom. I run a household. I take care of 4 boys. So most of the tasks that I have to do are cooking, cleaning, driving, doing all the care of the boys. And it can be mind-numbing if I'm not taking care of my mind. And, it's the same thing, right? So I asked myself, okay, what can make it fun for me? And the answer to that was make problem solving, trying to make things more efficient for myself. How can I make my life more efficient, or how can I set this up in a more efficient way so that I can make my life easier? In specific examples, for example, in the car, the little kids were leaving kind of garbage or like wrappers and stuff in the back and not cleaning them up. And of course, we don't want that. So I set up a little garbage bags in the car for them to put it away. And that felt extremely satisfying for me because I solved the problem. I am teaching them good skills and it cleans up the car. So it felt really good for me to do it. And also after I did it, it felt really good every time I thought about it, which feels really good. You're like, yes, nailed it, right? But that took for me to stop being whiny about it and stop complaining about it, stop bitching to the boys. It had to stop and think creatively. I'm like, okay, what can I do here? How did I set them up for success? And let's find a solution, right? So that felt really good. I was creative and I was in a problem solving mode, and I was thinking of how to set it up in a more efficient way. So that felt really good. So things like that will, if I have that lens on my day, on my mundane tasks, I can then ask myself, okay, there was a little annoyance here. How can I make things better? And the answers might not come right away, but because my mind's already primed to problem solve, to be efficient, then it's a lot more interesting for me to go through my day doing the driving and the cooking and cleaning, right? How can I make dinner more fun tonight? I don't want to eat the same old thing. You know what? Forget the rules. We're just going to have nachos today. Nachos. Totally fine. But thinking, having that mindset of being creative and problem solving is a lot more interesting for me to experience my day than to not be thinking about that at all, to just be kind of mindlessly driving and mindlessly cooking, right? Because I want to make these tasks more fun for myself. And so again, the same thing here is the task itself didn't become more fun. I didn't do anything to the task to make it more fun. Driving is driving. But putting that lens on my mind stimulated my intelligence, stimulated my problem solving, stimulated my creativity, and made it more interesting for me, more enjoyable. And I also want to point out to you guys that this is in all of these things that I listed are all creative things that are not including any consuming. They don't include any listening or watching or reading, nothing. It's all coming from within you. And therefore it's very interesting, but it does take effort on our brain part. So I listed giving, right? Notice how there's a feeling attached to the giving, right? Planning, organizing, these are like tasks, but to me, they're a feeling words because they stimulate the good feelings in me. If they don't work for you, please, this is a job for you to find the words that stimulate those good feelings for you that are in the fun category, but actually feel different. Efficient feeling, creating. So sometimes when I cook, I feel, I'm enjoying myself. I feel fun. I'm singing, I don't care if it's a total failure. I don't care. And I have lots of time, right? So not all the time, maybe 30% of the time, I'm enjoying it. Totally fine. Again, me noticing it, that I'm enjoying it, but I'm not enjoying it because of the cooking. I'm enjoying it because I feel not rushed. So I feel abundance of time. See how it's all in my mindset and my feeling. Abundant. I feel free to make a mistake. That is like a fearless feeling and feels really good. So allows you to create. Last night's dinner was one of those dinners. It was a total hodgepodge. I made Russian carrot salad with garlic and roasted walnuts, which is delicious. You guys have to try it. Oh, and some mayo. So you shred the carrots. We actually have carrots from our garden. So I did like purple carrots. So I love that salad. I mean, I grew up with it. It's super good. But my husband said it was a bit rich. So I made that salad. I made sweet potato fries. The twins love that. And the new thing that I made, which was halloumi cheese, rolled in some flour and some seasonings and air fried. And that was a disaster because the halloumi cheese was too salty and too rich. And it was just not great. And what else did I make? And I think that's all. Maybe I'm forgetting something. But overall, it was a really weird dinner. Most of the things were rich, Oh, and I also made broccoli with cheddar cheese, and cheddar cheese did not turn out well. Broccoli was so it was a bit of fail. So most of the things were rich and didn't turn out great, but I enjoyed making it, and overall, I was happy. I enjoyed myself. I was kind of like really enjoying myself. So again, paying attention to the mindset that's making us feel good and to the feelings. Okay. Social. I wrote down social. That's coming from tennis. I love social. I love looking forward to seeing the people. I like the light connection that we have. It's not like a strong, deep friendship that requires like a deeper involvement and more energy, but it's also not like a stranger, right? So it's just more light fun where you're joking around and you enjoy people's company. And that feels good. You feel alive, you're in the moment, etc. Problem solving. So problem solving, I talked to you about when I was doing the efficiency thing, right? So problem solving can be enjoyable if you are rested, right? And if you're kind of again, if you are enjoying it. It also can be not enjoyable if you're forced to problem solve and if all the circumstances are playing not in your favor, if you're exhausted and the car broken down and everything, right? It depends on your mindset. So take all these with the lens that what is your approach to them and how, because this is my list, right? So for you, it might not feel good, some of these. So just notice that, right? If problem solving stresses you out, actually for me, sometimes problem solving stresses me out if it's too much, if I'm not ready, if I'm not rested, or if it's, basically if it's kids asking me too many things all at once, no, thank you. Preparing ahead of time. That was, for me, when I do that, I feel a subtle sense of satisfaction. And also, I'm proud of myself for taking care of my future self. And after I've done something, usually it's not something fun. It's like, oh, let me prep this right now so I don't have to do it tomorrow. Or let me set the coffee for myself for tomorrow. The activity is nothing amazing, but the thinking behind it, I walk away thinking, yes, I did it. I did something proactive. It's going to feel so good tomorrow when coffee's all ready, or tomorrow when dinner comes, this is all prepped already. Look at me, right? I feel ahead. I feel prepared. I feel like I am taking care of myself, which feels really good. Again, I don't do this all the time. Lately, I haven't been doing it. I did it only once this week. And so that kind of made me think of it. But again, just basically bringing our attention to it, making us aware of it, is going to help us create more of it and is going to help us notice it during the day so that we actually notice when we're having fun, when we're enjoying it. But if we're not really paying attention to these feelings, they go away and our usual whining comes back, right? We don't realize, oh, me doing the usual tasks is actually satisfying if we don't pay attention to it. We need to realize that we actually feel those feelings and not just dismiss them. We need to bring them to our forefront of our mind to make them more fun, for us to enjoy doing the mundane things, because they're there. We don't give them credit, right? Like before I made this list, these things were all there. I was experiencing all of them, but I was just not aware of them. And because I was not aware of them, they were kind of come and go. I didn't notice them, I didn't pay attention to them. I didn't think they were a big deal. And so I would just move on to the next problem or think, oh, I'm not having fun. I need more fun. But now having made this list, I can see so much potential for me to enjoy these subtle, small things of my mindset, of how I'm approaching things when I'm doing it, right? And also, let's set our expectations. We won't always be able to create all these amazing feelings, right? Life is 50-50. Sometimes we will have a terrible time doing them, and that's fine. But awareness of these things and of the other mindset that makes us miserable is what's going to help us create more of what we want. And what I want, and for me, and I want for you, is to have more fun. As moms, it is a skill. Oh, the other thing I want to tell you, I was watching a show, The Letdown. I think it's an Australian show, and that was really, really hit the spot for me at the moment. When I was having a hard time right now with my boys and just in the middle of it, of raising them and, going through some things it's very demanding on me right now, raising them. And seeing in the show is about young, new moms having all the new babies and how demanding and how hard that season of life is. And so it really helped me, kind of think, okay, you know what? This is normal. I'm supposed to feel in demand and tired, and this is supposed to feel hard right now, and that's fine. It made me feel good. And in one of the episodes, one of the characters was drinking too much wine and didn't want to be drinking too much wine. And she hired this person to help her break the cycle, who's actually a drug dealer, but it doesn't matter. But what he told her, he said, there was a study done on rats, and they put rats in two different two different containers, two different rooms. And in one room, they made one room for rats really, really boring. And the other room, they made for them like a rat park. Super, super fun. Lots of things to do, run around and like explore. And they made a really fun thing for the rats there. And they gave them some sort of addictive substance. I don't remember what it was. But they found that the rats in the park that was more fun were a lot less addicted to the substance than the other rats in the boring park. So what he was saying to her, you need to find your rat park, like for rats, because you're a mom, and what is your fun? You're putting them to get to bed, dinner, bath, everything. Well, if you don't have anything fun for yourself any other time of the day, then of course you're going to go drink the wine. You need to find your rat park. So it was really funny to have them name it that way, but it is true. It is our job, and it's it's a challenge for us to find the fun in this job. And that's why I made this episode. But I like that. It's very memorable to think of it as a rat park. So we need our own rat park. So the mom actually in that episode, she found this dancing group for people, sober people, like grown-ups, no alcohol, no drugs, just an hour of dancing in the dark to the music. So there's so many different things that we can have fun with. We just need to be looking for them and practicing them, scheduling them. And a lot of the things that we do with the kids, we can make more satisfying, which is fun, by looking for all these things that I listed, right? Making more efficient, problem solving, giving feels good, planning, creating when we cook or when we create a situation, right? Preparing ahead, learning. Right. I like learning as well, but in doses. I get saturated with some learning and I need a big break afterwards. But I do love learning. I just finished Matthew McConaughey's book, which I really enjoyed. He's a life coach on his own. It was super entertaining, really good, honest truth that he speaks. I totally agree with all of it. And I enjoyed it. But by the end of listening to it, I was saturated. I was like, okay, I'm done. I need a break. I need to not listen for anything for a few days. Okay. So go listen to that if you want to check it out, and listen to it as an audiobook. I really highly recommend, as he reads it on his by himself. And of course, he's an actor. He's so good at it. It's just very entertaining, and he tells good stories. It's really good. Matthew McConaughey. I think it's called Green Lights. Yes, Green Lights. So it's a great book. So guys, remember, looking for the fun is a skill and you need to practice it. And if you need to make a list, to make a list. I'd love to see your list because maybe you'll help me. And yeah, you can always send it to me, Natalia at coachingnatalia.com. And again, if you are not having fun, how are you going to show up to any of your relationships? Probably going to be a bleh, right? A kind of a drag, boring, stressed out, whatever. And sometimes it's fine. Half of our life will be like that. But if you can create the other half more fun, let's do it, right? So, how to have better relationships, make more fun for yourself. If you need any help untangling your brain so that you can have those amazing relationships, that's what I'm here for. Go to www.coachingnatalia.com. Sign up and have that great relationship with yourself and everyone else around you. I love you guys all so much. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.